Building upon the original game, Kind Words 2 from developer Popcannibal invites you to step beyond your room with more writing-based activities designed to uplift others. This entry introduces new ways to communicate with the mostly kind strangers you meet throughout the new city, expanding upon the heartwarming experience of its predecessor. In Kind Words 2, the main function of sending letters to lift others' spirits by offering advice returns, along with the ability to share your own life's challenges for people to respond to and leave thank you stickers, which all unlock naturally throughout the game. Ella, the mail carrier deer from the original, is back to deliver letters to your inbox from those replying to your posts. I quickly grew fond of her. Her encouragement from each letter or reply that you send is just nice to hear sometimes. In addition to writing letters, you can send out paper airplanes containing thoughtful or encouraging messages. Other players exploring the city can find and read these as they wander around, and you can also write letters through post boxes scattered throughout the city. Every paper airplane that I managed to find while exploring carried a thoughtful message, showcasing the generous atmosphere that Kind Words 2 has fostered since its launch. If you played the first game, your letters from other players carry over to the sequel, so you won't lose them. Favorites are also preserved, along with improved graphics and a redesigned user interface. The city itself in Kind Words 2 is its biggest feature, setting it apart from the first release. Stepping outside for the first time, you find yourself on a quaint city street where avatars of other players stand or sit, waiting to engage with your avatar. Conversations with other avatars are limited to around 4 short replies each. Despite this, a simple question about somebody's day or how they're feeling can brighten another player's mood. Knowing that someone is listening, even briefly, most players reply kindly in return. You'll get a notification when the player you're conversing with has replied by a star symbol appearing over their head. While most interactions are positive, occasionally you might receive an unkind response from another player or in a letter. Unfortunately, that's a possibility even in a game like this. Thankfully, there's a report function if you feel uncomfortable with the response, or you can simply just end the conversation. However, during my time playing, the community was kind, and I cherished the generous conversations I had with others in the expanded world. Often, you'll come across 2 people already engaged in conversation, and you can listen in to see what they're discussing. Many of these exchanges were interesting to overhear, and outside of this, the city streets feature a couple of stores. One is a clothing store where you can customize your avatar. Others, like the Frogu and Frog's Vinyl Shop or a cafe on the city's outskirts, offer unique ways to engage with writing, similar to sending letters from your home. Frogu's Vintage Vinyl Shop became a favorite spot of mine. Here, you can ask for recommendations from others, new music, anime, TV series, or movies to check out. While playing, I actually visited this store many times, as I enjoyed the varied suggestions from other players, which were often funny or intriguing. You can also subscribe to recommendations to see more responses. The cafe in the Outskirts was another favorite of mine, similar to the Vinyl Shop, but here you can participate in poetry slam challenges instead of seeking recommendations. So write all the poems you want and share them on the stage, showcasing your skills in writing. As someone who loves writing and enjoys challenges in my spare time, I did appreciate this feature. Once you obtain a bus pass from Frogu's store, more areas open up. In the Outskirts, there's a forest filled with word chains you can contribute to, and the deeper you venture, the more word chains you find. Ever so often, I would add my own words, though sometimes they didn't appear immediately. You can also visit the city park and engage in another writing activity called Naming a Cat, based on the description or describing a cat yourself. Then you can submit it to other players to add their own descriptions, which you can read later. The park features a pop-up van shop and daily tasks for you to discuss your feelings on. For example, one day it asked for opinions on pumpkin spice lattes, and as much as we hate to hate on them, they're pretty good. In the snow-capped mountains, you can shoot into the abyss through a magic echo sign, sharing encouraging words that another player will hear in their game session when they stand near the mountain's edge. Players can also receive life tips from others bathing in a nearby hot springs or make wishes at a mountain's peak. The final area currently available is the harbor, which is known as the last stop, and is home to the wiggling void entity in the ocean. Here you can vent your frustrations or problems, only the wiggly void listens and then promptly forgets a few seconds later. It's a cathartic outlet for issues you you can't solve immediately, and the void is always ready to lend an ear. The memories building at the end point lets you revisit poems and letters you've liked, as well as view lo-fi shimmer backgrounds you've discovered. Seeing everything I've enjoyed so far in one place was delightful, and the building's unique backdrop added to its charm. So while exploring, you'll eventually find these lo-fi backgrounds that are kind of reminiscent of YouTube's Study Beats videos. These serene settings are perfect for just like studying, especially when paired with the game's soothing lo-fi music. The game rewards are fairly generous. You earn stickers with each letter or writing activities, which you can then use to decorate your home. You might have a giant Yeti overlooking your space, or transform your room into a pond with various decorations like food, bat streamers, or toys scattered around. For those wanting to offer suggestions or report bugs, and there are a few currently, you can easily send feedback anytime through the game's menu or by talking to the robot in the city streets. I appreciated how the developers are with the community, showing dedication to this small game's player base, which we hope to see grow. Kind Words 2, like its predecessor, is a simple yet impactful game that can brighten someone's day through encouragement and kindness. Despite some glitches that occasionally hindered the experience, I thoroughly enjoyed my time with it. While the city isn't too vast, the developers are receptive to feedback and may expand it in the future. The entire experience was therapeutic to have an outlet to vent through this game. The developers went a step further by providing mental health resources within the game and allowing replies to letters for added support. Players can enjoy Kind Words 2 in their own way. If exploring the open world isn't appealing, you can still just sit in your room like the original and continue from where you left off, with new features accessible whenever you choose. Noisy Pixel is giving Kind Words 2 an 8 out of 10. Thanks for watching. This video is brought to you by our supporters on Patreon. Noisy Pixel is run by a group of gamers providing independent gaming coverage through news, reviews, previews, and more. Check out our Patreon to help support our continued growth, and subscribe to keep up with all our future content.
Noisy Pixel.